We are going into the first trial of Elysium and Team Rapture, and we are going to make sure that it will be a very, very wonderful one. So let's see how this is going. Let's be spontaneous. Ray should be here somewhere in this VC, ready to go, ready to celebrate. Ray, say hello.
Hi, yes, I am here just waiting for my turn patiently. Good afternoon. I didn't even know what the matchup was going into this. I don't know the killers. I don't know anything. So I'm excited to see what it is. Elysium is a fantastic team. So of course, anytime that we get to see them play is a real treat. Dyer, tell me a little bit about what we are looking forward to.
We are going to have an absolute great best of 5 coming up, even though it's 90 minutes behind schedule, with the good guy, Chucky McChuckerson, on set number 1, followed right after by the Blight to speed it up. And then we are going to see the jump scare Huntress and the tier 3 Myers, this time in flipped order. And if that's not enough, then we have an unknown tiebreaker. Yeah, so let's go. We are having an insane match also because, Ray, to give you a little bit of an insight, Zeno has played on Team Oracle back in the days, and Ryan from Rapture has played on Team Agony back then. So they are basically fighting for the crown in Comp DBD for multiple years now.
Oh, that's going to be a little interesting. I'm also really, really interested to see this Chucky set because personally, I haven't even seen Chucky played in DBDLeague. So I'm really looking forward to see what these top tier players could really do. I know that we recently saw that Hens showcase with Chucky versus Spirit. So we've seen a high tier Chucky play. If you guys are super involved in the community, we'll have to see if those killers can sort of match up. There is a little bit of controversy around Chucky having just a low skill floor, a high skill floor. I don't know the way you say that. But I'm really interested to see what the survivors tend to do against this, see if there's any kind of jukes that can be had. We are loading in right now. I don't even know what the map is. Oh, this is going to be a little interesting. I don't know anything. I like to go in not knowing anything because that way I could be just as surprised as the audience. I'm reacting in real time, all genuine.
Yeah, this is the great thing though for our casters, ladies and gentlemen. We can schedule them and they really have no idea what's happening. For me, this is a little bit sad because I'm involved in the picks and bans process, but someone like Ray, she can come in here excited and she can be purely surprised about what's happening. And surprised is Pedro here a little bit, getting the jump by Ryan. It's unfortunately not enough to get the first injury as quick as possible. Interesting build for me, Ray. We have to ruin and undying, so pretty much forced about the generators here. And then even the third generator, Surveillance, also coming in for the generator defense. So it really feels like Ryan wants to go for the ultimate slowdown and regression.
And we also see some really high rarity add-ons there. Not rat poison, which I'm sure that one is probably just banned. I'm not entirely sure with these All Hallows League rules, but it is not coming into play. Oh, tries to go for finesse play there, but it's just taking that tag. These survivors have not had a down happen just yet, and this is Chucky, a killer who has an insane chase. Basically, all of his chases are just on a timer, right? You are just fighting for a little bit longer of time. Oh, mate, he's still not finding anybody. He's still hot in the trail of Zeno, who was able to get away. I believe he did have live, even though we didn't see it activate. But whatever you do have, oh gosh, tries to go for another dash right there, but it does not connect. Zeno with the patience will not be going down just yet. It's on this side of the map that does have a lot of safer filler pallets. So this chase is not gonna be too quick. Yes, Zeno did have live. There is a body block that is coming through. Pedro hovering a little bit. Chucky going around to the other side. Does not connect. However, this team has great communication. They know exactly where the Chucky is and they know where their teammate is and how to body block. But Ryan here is still hot on the trail of another survivor. turns out to be Pedro, who does have decisive strike. So this is exactly what the survivors want. Chucky's trying to go for some dashes right there, but they are not connecting. The survivors doing a great job this early game.
Let's see, a lot of chaos going on, trying to spread it as good as possible. The pressure, the injuries, Pedro and Zeno now. 2 injuries so far, but it's not enough to get it down in the first generator. Already coming out here for Team Elysium, and the Claudette is unfortunately staying on the generator as she is blocked here in the corner. Very, very sad to see that. Zeno going down here. 2 injured survivors as well. I feel like Ryan has gotten a good, somewhat early game for himself. Still definitely good to exchange the first hook stage for the first generator. So let's see what's happening in the next one. Pedro also going down here at the pallet. Pretty surprised. Ray, is it falling apart on the side of Elysium?
Oh, it might be. This could be an insane snowball if Ryan can capitalize. Using a little dashes here. It is getting a 2-man slug. I picked the only one who is up. Sorry. We'll have to see what iPick decides to do. Can he save? Is he gonna pick up the slug? He's over here by the hook. Oh, misses that and instead hits the person on the hook. Does not make it a trade. That is huge right there. That tiny little missed dash right there will be buying them a lot of extra time. Now they can split up. It will not end in a 4-man slug just yet, but Chucky is still hot on the trail of Zeno over here. All the other survivors are back up and in the game. So Ryan was not able to super capitalize right there, but is still not down for the count. Still has all of his hex perks up. Zeno running directly towards it, saying, I know exactly where your totem is. Your blood favor days are numbered.
Yeah, Zeno on the second hook. So honestly, Ray, it's impressive what kind of comeback and reset we have just seen from Team Elysium here. Healing all the injuries and basically acting like they're getting a full restart on this entire match. Only taking the second one onto Zeno here. So far, still 70 seconds to go on. iPick, Pedro, and Swatter do not take any additional risk here. They can freely go towards the generators. It's important now for the upcoming moments here that Zeno is getting rescued from the basement. We need some body block, we need some protection, potentially even setting up a pallet safe if possible. But if Zeno would vanish successfully after getting the basement unhooked and stays with 4 survivors in the trial, that could be huge for Elysium here.
And he is kind of far away from that basement hook. It is totally possible. We know that Kate was the one who did have For the People, and oh no, we didn't see, but Kate was trying to get down there to get that For the People play, but is not able to make it there in time. Instead, will have a 1-for-1. Zeno is in danger. There's still 4 generators up, although I will have to say, oh, wonderful dash! I will just say there is a lot of split progress. However, that generator there in the middle was the one that was near the basement, so it can be camped just a little bit. And this is Pedro up on the hook once again, and that will be making it a 3v1 with 4 generators left. Some with progress haven't been popped just yet, so it's not nearly as bad as it looks, but it could be better, especially because Swatter over here is injured. They have the Chucky has the Straight Razor, which is the purple add-on. It makes it so survivors are hemorrhaged whenever they are hit by a slice and dice. So that is making these resets take just a little bit longer. Oh my God, I picked there just looking at Chucky and holding straight through the pallet. Super confident. Except Ryan right here has a fantastic dash that will be hitting iPick, giving him the Sloppy Butcher. He is deciding to actually commit to this chase. There's no other hooks on other survivors, meaning that once he does get a hook on somebody, that will have to start the tunnel out process all over again, especially here because iPick does have Deliverance, meaning that he can get himself off the hook in trade for being broken for a little bit of time. The survivors have taken the time to heal up and are splitting, so there isn't too much progress on gens to speak of because Hex Ruin is still up. 3 Hex perks are still up. and that could be really hard to deal with. The survivors might have to try to take the time to cleanse those, unless they want to get 4K'd with 3 gens left. That would be a tough win con.
Yeah, Elysium on the edge once again. I feel like it looked like a 4K4 potentially, then they made this huge comeback. Now we are talking about a 4K3, but we have 2 generators on 50 to 60%. Kate going down right here, and now we are going to see a little bit of extra time for the survivor team here, as we are having a fresh hook, if I'm not mistaken, onto Petrol. So 2 minutes and 20 seconds of hang time. Swatter is also healthy, so he can potentially take the next chase and can waste a little bit of time from the killer. iPick about to pop another generator, which is really important now. Swatter is going to make it away here with the sprint burst back towards the main room, and that's going to be a free unhook also. The survivor that moved in is not even going to take any additional injury, as Pedro is coming in like a hero, using the endurance status effect to protect Swatter, who just went for the unhook here. Main room is going to be a nice slice and dice here into all the survivors injured, but Elysium so far with that 60 to 70% generator that we have seen, that is ready to go in the back pocket, and being able to go for quite impressive chases still, even though some resources have already been used. I'm definitely confident that we should at least see generator number 4 here.
We should, and that would make it so much easier for their killer next game. A 4K2 versus a 4K1 is a huge difference. The survivors are still all injured, however, and it is sort of a stealth killer with Chucky going into hidey ho mode. That other add-on, by the way, that I forgot to talk about, Iridescent Amulet, it extends the duration of hidey ho mode by 50%, with the downside that basic attacks immediately end it, but who cares, because you're not going to be just, M1ing every once in a while. So this really pairs with Larry's as a map, because your stealth mode is extended by 50%. So if Brian really wanted to, he could play this a little bit more stealthy. The survivors themselves have to take the time to reset and heal. There's so little time for them to just be sitting on generators, because this killer's presence is felt everywhere. And even right there, Pedro will be going down. He will be on his second hook here too, so that is one other survivor that is close to being eliminated, putting them into the 2v1, which would be insanely difficult against a higher chase tier killer like Chucky. Pedro put down into the basement. We saw those 2 other survivors doubling this, but even though they were, it is still only at 50%. But this generator is far away from the hook, so I can almost guarantee that they will be getting this save for free. That was really dangerous. If he had his headphones turned up, he might have heard Renato's breathing right there, but no dice. Swatter here caught out, will be using sprint burst to get away from the killer. Pedro saved down there in the basement, does get away, except that Chucky is... No, he's not going back. He's actually just going to commit to the chase here on Swatter. Very nice fastball. Very nice fastball. Are we going to see another hit? Oh, that was a really good dash. That will be Swatter getting injured. Has Sloppy Butcher. Will a Chucky go back now? Yes, indeed. The survivors, if you can see the generator setup, have done a wonderful job in splitting the map. There's 2 upside and 2 downside. So if they want, they could just split up and try to just commit to a generator, especially if they want to just turn this into a 4K1, which they might have to. Chucky getting a hit right there onto iPick. It's really bad for them to just get these hits without a power. He's a 110% killer. What you really want to do is force Chucky to go into his power, force it on a cooldown. But the survivors are just getting these tags left and right. It is really looking bad for the survivors at the moment.
Yeah, really not looking too good. Almost. Oh yeah, 4K is in the air now. The big thing would be generator number 4, right? Because Larry's can spawn quite disgusting 3-gens that you can defend. And if you are dying right here, then basically Team Rapture in the upcoming trial, they can ignore any potential 3-gen. They can just smash 4 generators and they would be good to go. So getting generator number 4 done and allowing your killer to shut it down potentially during the 3-gen scenario and then forcing the tie condition, I feel like is something that Elysium could definitely be fine with, but maybe we will even see more than that. What we would need is a good chase, and Swatter is showing us that right here with the stun, for example, onto the pallet. iPick being injured, currently trying to hide. So not only Chucky is playing the hidey-ho mode, this is also going to be presented now by the survivors back into the library. What's really punishing at the moment is that the Hex Ruin is still in the trial, because when you are on edge with only 2 survivors, both of them injured now, you really need to play careful. You need to turn away from the generator as soon as the teammate is losing line of sight of the Chucky, and all of this causes a lot of regression that is coming in with the Hex Ruin. So unfortunately here now also on the back of the survivor, that is iPick, and that is going to be a perfect dead hard though to extend the chase a little bit longer. We might be in a little bit of a speed run for the final generator, but then miscalculating where Chucky actually is. Keep in mind, everyone, a hatch play would not be possible here as the survivor team has not completed all the generators. So Ray, I feel like we are going to see a 4K on 2 gens remaining.
Yeah, that's for sure, especially with the killer hot on the trail of Ace, who does go down. We already know that there is no more Unbreakable, and Swatter is the one who is going up on the hook. Deliverance cannot be used, so this will be the end of the game. 4K2, a fantastic result. You love to see when these teams win their pick by like doing all these crazy things. You know, All Hallows League, they get to choose maps, they get to choose perks. So it's really, really fun when that plan does come out to fruition. We know Elysium as a top tier team, so them getting 4K2 is a very, very fun thing to see. They might be able to bring it back, however, as they do have some really good killer players. So it could be that Chucky on this map is just OP. Well, we will definitely have to see. Although I will say Chucky is a very weird killer. We saw some areas where the chases happened in like 20 seconds, but we also saw that first chase take a really long time with all those good filler pallets out. So in order to win next game, I do believe that the survivor team will just have to prevent a first hook from happening by using all those good filler pallets as well, and just making it so they complete 4 generators. It could be easy, it could be difficult. We'll have to see.
Now, Chucky trying to find iPick just to have the most stylish way for the 4K here, clean everyone together, and Swatter going in the second stage. In the meanwhile, again, ladies and gentlemen, even if we find the hatch somehow with the slugged survivor, it does not matter, as the survivor team must complete all the generators in All Hallows League in order to have the hatch or the exit gate counting for themselves. GG's to Ryan. Definitely setting Rapture in a very good position here after the first trial. We are 100% seeing Xeno on the upcoming one, and Xeno can do pretty crazy things, so I wouldn't feel too safe yet on the side of the survivors. 4 generators and ignoring a 3-gen definitely sounds really good. But on the other hand, it is against Xeno not an easy task. So we are going to find out what Xeno is bringing on the table. Team Rapture will be on the survivor side, and we will see you after a short break.
Welcome back, everybody, for another set. Chucky on the Xeno on Larry's. We're seeing some similarities in the build like we did last game, except instead of surveillance, we have Grim Embrace, an incredibly strong perk that I actually am surprised we don't see more often in the All Hallows League, although it doesn't get incredible value unless you 4-hook people, so that could definitely be a little bit of a problem. Sorry about the long time. We had some lobby issues. It was buggy, it was bad, but now we are in. Flicks taking that first hit right there, even though they threw the pallet, getting hit through that. Blood Favor is active and Chucky is in power. The same add-ons that we saw last game. Both of these killers are doing it, and they've got a plan. Right there, another hit onto Crow. That is 2 survivors who are injured. A totem is cleansed. We have Undying. That means just one of our filler perks is gone. So Blood Favor and Ruin are still up. We are seeing a little bit of difference from the last game. Oh, and another totem is going down, is ruined. So the regression perk that we had is now gone. Blood favor is still up. Xeno hasn't gotten immense value out of it just yet, so we'll have to see if he can still pull it through. Goes for a dash, but calls out the wrong location of Ryun. Although, wait, no, he was there. Scratch marks just disappeared weirdly. So the survivors are doing a fantastic job of not going down. A good vault right there. Xeno swings and a miss. The survivors are taking the time to reset. They're playing it a little bit slower. Xeno is down 2 perks that we have seen a huge difference from the last game. This is exactly what I was talking about the survivors needing to have a good start to make sure that Xeno does not get that win con of, I believe, 4K3 if he wants to win, 4K2 if he wants to tie.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. So we are going to see this avoiding or ignoring 3-gen tech coming in from Team Rapture. They don't have to necessarily break the 3-gen in order to take the win for themselves. 4 generators will be enough for that. Ryan going to vault into Xeno here after being a little bit too motivated on these mind games, and that's going to be the first hook of the game. We don't have a generator done yet in comparison to the previous trial. We had 1-for-1, but the main room already with 80% of progress here, so really good work by these survivors. But Grim is giving Xeno some extra time, making sure that he has time to take a look around, maybe trying to find an incoming rescuer here. Ace somewhat working on the generator and the wall next to him, and the main generator though should be ready to go. I feel like Chucky is lurking for another survivor too far to the outside of Larry, so first generator going to be completed. Yeah, Xeno kind of holding the edges here next to the hook. Very smart decision actually. If you are able to catch one of these incoming rescuers, you can definitely force a trade, if not even successfully interrupting this at all. We see here that the first survivor already pulling back. Flix was originally trying to go for Ryan here, deciding that it's not going to be the case, and I do feel like we're going to see Ryan going into second stage, though my worry is that Rapture is planning with this a little bit and coming out really punishing on the gen efficiency.
See right there, Ryan's already in second. Survivors do need to commit to gens just a little bit more, but there we go. There goes the last Hex Totem. The only thing that this company has now is Grim Embrace, but maybe if the chases are quick enough, they don't even mind. They don't even not mind. They don't have any sort of perks. A death this early would do wonders for Xeno. However, there is still a little bit of progress out there, and it's not regressing passively because of all the perks that have been cleansed. Ryan does get saved right there. Only has Sprint Burst to get away though, and is at the mercy of the 10-second built-in borrow time. Flix comes in there to body block just a little bit. Ryun's days are numbered. Tries to get away as fast as they possibly can, but there are no more resources that are completely available. Oh, and loses that 50-50 right there. That will be Ryun down for the count. The survivors complete that generator, however, completely eliminating Xeno's ability to actually hit a win con, except now Xeno is just trying to play for the tie. The survivors are trying to prevent this death right here by a pallet save, but nobody was close enough. Crow was hovering, and Fast here is on the ground. We can see over here that Flix is working on this generator. It is at 50%, but Xeno probably has a good idea of what is happening. Takes Fast, gonna quickly put him up on the hook right here. That will activate a second stack of Grim Embrace, blocking a generator for a small amount of time. You can see up there is a 3-gen that the survivors have neglected to actually do because they don't need to. They could just complete one more generator. Nancy is over there injured and at the mercy of Chucky actually being able to just go over there and stop them. However, Crow here knows that they can just sit here and go for the unhooks and the pulls. That will be Crow on the ground. So they can go on the hook and block that gen again. But Xeno needs to get over there to prevent that gen from getting done, and it's so close! Grim is gonna block this for a few seconds, but is Chucky gonna be fast enough to get over there in time to prevent it from getting done? But when it gets unblocked, it does seem so. Oh, it's gonna be close. They're not even... Yeah, Flix is not even playing. They know that they play this just a little bit slower. Yes, Zeno does get there in time to prevent it, but it's so very close. If the Nancy was just sitting on that gen, it would have gotten done. The survivors just needed to commit, to be brave, to play a little bit risky just to get the win here. And now Zeno is gonna be able to just pressure around the map, but that gen split is gonna be so hard, especially the survivors right there. They reset so fast because they had botany and solidarity. Oh, Custer's swing right there. Crow not even making it to the pallet. Will be taking a hit. Sloppy Butcher now is over here on the other side of the map. There's 2 survivors injured in this game. Fast is the one that is completely healed. Zeno goes into stealth to try to sneak up on some other survivors, but this is looking like a really hard scenario to come back from for the killer. They need to just get one more generator done, and that will be them taking this first set against Elysium.
Now, Blick going to go down here on the pallet. We still have Vasti, Healthy, and Crow, our injured survivors. So trying to get the final amount of pressure into these generators. One more would be the win right now. We are on the tie condition here, so let's see if that's going to be enough. A little bit of aura reading in the distance there, but I don't think that Zeno has an interest to instantly walk cross map from the hook. Flix therefore just chilling here for a moment. Tiffany actually just barely missing out on Crow here, who's sitting around next to the corner trying to lurk for an unhook potentially. Flix being unhooked now. Zeno pretty far away. Great timing for Team Rapture. It was the perfect opportunity to go for the unhook without taking any trade or a quick injury. So Claudette having a little bit of distance here, able to confuse the killer by faking to vault. Vasti now with the injury, Flix injured as well. So the survivor team needs to watch out now that they're not taking too much of altruistic actions here. The reset location also a little bit questionable here in the middle of the open in the main room. Hopefully they are not miscalculating that. Crow now back to Healthy together with Flix. Vasti staying injured for now. We do see that we have some progress on these generators, so Team Rapture should definitely be able to make generator number 4 work if we have some good chases here, maybe a little bit of distance taking, W holding, anything like that. Could work all out for the survivor team then.
I know you said that it was dangerous healing out in the open right there, but I would have believed that if Zeno had even gone back to hit one more survivor, that would have bought just enough few precious seconds for Crow to sit on that generator and get it done. Zeno had no choice but to go back and check on that gen. The map is still incredibly split. It was a good find on Crow there, yes, getting a tag like that, but it's still in a very, very precarious situation. We can see the survivors are trying to play it slow. Zeno also not committing to any chase that would eat up too much time. That we're just trying to get that generator done. I feel like the survivors can be a little bit more aggressive with this because they just need one more generator. That one at the far side of the map has like 90% progress, and the one over there has about 50. If Zeno commits any sort of chase that takes them a long amount of time, then that would definitely be the cue for the survivors to get it done. See, right here, Zeno is at the mercy of this filler pallet right here. Flix is not even like a quick chase, I would say. The survivors just need to commit to a generator and get it done. They have the manpower to do so. Zeno here will try to be going for another really good dash. Yes, and that will be Flix down on the ground. Yes, and there they are, doubling, committing to this generator that's very far away from Chase. This will be win con right there. And
thank God.
Yes, indeed, the very first game has been decided. Elysium will be taking the L. Rapture will be taking the win.
The reason why I'm saying thank God is because we got alerted during the game that Discord now also had a bug and the server didn't work or something, and Rapture played for 2.5 minutes without comms. They clipped it, they have evidence, match officials confirmed it, but if this would have been a tie now, we would have sitting here again making a decision about something, again waiting, again debating about something, and I'm so glad that Rapture got this damn generator out of the way so we don't even have this situation, because today, in regards to server issues, server breaks, and bugs with Leatherface earlier as well, has been enough, and I'm pretty tired already. So thank you, Rapture, for getting generator number 4 out of the way and saving us from any additional pain. We are now having Flicks just a few seconds on the Hulk being rescued now. I don't think Rapture worries too much. Of course, it would be very important now to get that final generator and even taking some survivors out of the door, because you are staying on the survivor side for the second set. You want to make sure that you're feeling confident, you're feeling good, everything is kind of falling together, you're dominant against your opponent. So all of this is something where you can definitely set your mindset right for the upcoming trials. Yet Rapture can already breathe through. Even if it's all going downhill now, they will be fine. They also seem like they're not going for the resets anymore, more aggressively trying now that the final generator is receiving the necessary pressure. And it is kind of understandable, because the 3-gen that we have remaining is definitely not the best one for the killer. So Xeno has to travel quite some distance to check on these generators. It's difficult to hold the area, especially this midsection generator allows you to kind of pull back. It's not the worst setup either, but feels like this is very doable for an organized survivor team. Though now, where we are having 3 injured survivors, they might want to consider going for the full reset.
That definitely could be part of the reason we didn't see the survivors playing super aggressive, was because their comms were down. But I will have to say, I am impressed at the way they played. Luries is definitely known for being a map that requires insane communication. So the fact that they were still able to not get Snowball killed right there while getting that generator done is a huge feat. GG will play to the survivors here, but now they are stuck with this little bit of sort of 3-gen scenario. They are all these gens that are in the middle. They're not too tight, but they're not too far away as well. So Xeno will probably be able to patrol them in a very easy manner. The generator has been kicked quite a bit though, so it might be close to the 8-gen regression mark that you are allowed to kick it. Xeno is stealthing around, trying to get a jump on another survivor that is over here. We can see that the survivors are doing a good job of communicating now. The ace will be walking away. Xeno does go check that generator, probably gave it another kick, while these 2 survivors are over here and are just taking the time to reset. There's not too much point to try to play this out, but the survivors do want to get the best result they possibly can. Try to break this 3-gen from Chucky, an incredibly good killer in chase. These survivors did a really good job this game. It was almost textbook. You could see that they definitely did take the time to practice. The hex marks were very early cleansed, I would say, so they might have taken the time to just learn totem spawn locations, especially because recent years we have seen a lot of killers bring in hex perks because it is difficult to find totems on this map. So very well played by the survivors. I love to see whenever they do practice their unique sets such as this. Well played. They got a head up on Elysium, which is a team that is very, very well known for playing extremely well.
Now, a little bit of the final chases here potentially. If Xeno wants to end this quickly, Claudette also injured, but going back towards the hook stage here, we see that Rapture is on edge, getting the final challenge out of the way, yet not too successful. As Xeno is really doing a good job, we also have to consider it was a pretty rough win condition, right? Whenever defending your 3-gen is not enough to take the win on the killer side, it is really a burden that you carry, that your survivor team basically left you here. And I feel like, considering that, Xeno did a really, really good job. 4k1 would still be a very impressive result, and would also make sure that Rapture is not gaining too much confidence going into set number 2 here, which would be the Blight. And Blight is ultimately a killer where you want to have a lot of confidence as the pressure is up from the start here. Fasty trying to go for the unhook, being interrupted 2 times, now going to move away, might find himself in a quick chase, but Tiffany or Xeno is now checking on the generator up here. the good call here, as we have 80% on this generator already and might move soon into the end game. We have kicked it a couple of times for everyone who's confused. While we can see the animation of the entity, this is already shown on the spectator side after 4 times, and then it's slowly building up towards number 8. I believe this is 5 or 6 now that we are talking about here by Zeno. Vasti not having the healing yet onto them. I feel like Rapture is just going to try something sneaky here. Either they're getting the final generator out of the way as quick as possible, or they are just accepting that Zeno is ultimately too strong and will shut it down. No, actually they are going for it. So they want to make one final attack here, trying to get that final generator out of the way.
And they are definitely gonna try. I mean, they have been. We're at the mercy because this game has already been won in terms of Rapture. Although I do want to take a moment to say that there is a perk that is missing that I thought it was just the players not taking in, but it's actually one of the few banned perks that we have. Hex Pentimento is actually just a straight up general. Is it a general ban? Yes, it's a general ban. There's only like 7 perks for killer that are general banned, and Pentimento is one of them. I was actually surprised last game because I thought the reason they didn't cleanse any of the hex totems was because they thought there was Pentimento. Because the 4th perk was surveillance. That's not something that you ever really gonna find out from the survivor perspective unless you do some incredible scouting. But no, there's just no Pentimento allowed. I know I saw some people in chat discussing that and they weren't sure if it was. But yeah, it's one of the 7 perks. Also, another one of the 7 perks is Nowhere to Hide, which is definitely a perk that I would have loved to take in for these indoor maps. But yeah, that's one of the banned perks. The survivors actually have a lot more banned perks than killer this time around, although it's usually just, you know, boons and then reassurance and camaraderie, I believe it's called again. I can't ever remember if it's kinship or camaraderie. Whenever they took away the Stranger Things DLC, I just got so confused for so long, and I've just sort of accepted that I will never know.
I think it's back to camaraderie because the license is restored, right? I think kinship was the alternative, yeah. But I totally agree with you. Everything is just really confusing, and sometimes even on the perk pictures, we have the old inner healing and then you see the new inner healing because someone doesn't have the license, and then you are like, what kind of perk is this? It's very, very confusing. Zeno, in the meanwhile, managed to get a pretty nasty hit on that Claudette, now trying to make a few moves around this pallet, but unfortunately Claudette is following the good old comp rule that says when you're in doubt, then you're just holding W because distance values the same as time, and that's going to be a very nice dash down onto Vasti here. Also going to be the elimination. The hatch escape is not a possibility yet unless we are going to see the final generator being completed by Flix. Then it would be allowed to use the hatch escape and it would even count. So either we are talking about 11 stages or 12 stages for Zeno. Nonetheless, I think a very good killer performance here. Win condition, very
God, they're
difficult.
gonna get the left done, aren't they?
Whenever they are...
Oh,
they
nice.
are actually. Yeah, I was about to say, whenever they are not able as killer to kill it with the 3-gen and that being enough, it's always really, really rough. Flix here camping on Behavior's headquarter, having the very juicy ping.
Ooh.
For himself and even serving some juice during this final chase. Very nice to see that. And now going for the hatch. They can now go for the hatch escape here. Final generator has been completed, so they can turn this into 11 stages. I think Zeno is now just opting to go for the hatch as well. It is a big race here. Ray, let's make a quick bet. Tiffany or Nancy?
I'm gonna say Nancy, I'm a believer. Look at her go, the pathing is immaculate. We can't see that Zeno is trying to just get a double hit onto the Nancy. We've been through the entire map, where's the hatch? Oh my God, come on Flix, we gotta find it, we gotta go. Zeno, oh my God, I think Zeno lost him. Or he's just trying to get ahead of them so that they can't get to the hatch. Oh man, no! Nancy, no! Please hit your dead hard. Please do it. Please, I'm begging you. Come on, I'm begging. What was that? Okay, come on. Where's the hatch? I'm sure Flix is thinking the same exact thing. Gets the dead hard. Oh, it's right there! I was right.
Nah.
Let's go! One escape. I
no.
think taking their 1 or 2 stages with them, that will be Rapture with 1 escape out. All the chats are done, so it does count if it even mattered. But, you know,
Yep.
GG, well played.
Very, very great work by the Survivor team. 11 stages. Obviously, we talked about it, Ray. Confidence matters. Rapture is staying on the Survivor side, and we are moving forward to the Blight, a killer where you can definitely use a lot of confidence because we are putting the pressure right from the get-go on the Survivors. Most of the time, you're finding yourself in the first chase before your team members had even the time to scatter around the generators. So we are going in a quick break. Hopefully no server issues, hopefully nothing that is going to haunt us. We will be right back.
We are loading in. It seems everybody is present. The map is set and it is interesting. I am so glad to see it is not Blood Lodge, the standard map for Blight, but instead is Ormond.
And this was so much a wow for me when we have seen this, because Ormond Blight was really not what I would have considered the basically gold pick for Team Elysium here. I would have expected a lot, maybe even the Season 9 balance that we were used to, but really not what we have seen today here. Nonetheless, Xeno seems to be very frustrated about the delay and about the server issues, so he's just going to joke not around, and that's going to be the very quick down right here. Ray, we talked about the early game, and this is going perfect so far.
And that's exactly what Xeno wants. He seems to be locked in. Might have had quite a bit of practice, although Ormond is a little bit of a slippery map. Those picnic tables aren't tall enough to actually cause Blight to have any sort of collision. So he's just going to slide immediately right off of it. And also, taking into account that this build is extremely dastardly, he has Blood Favor once again. That is definitely a favorite perk of killers during all Hallows League. It is so much so that Xeno just decided to bring Undying just to prevent that from getting cleansed immediately, which it is. This map, it is a little bit easier to find totems. Sometimes they can spawn out in the open. We can see it there to the left. It's just right next to a rock. We can also see the survivors are trying to just delay the death there onto a survivor's name that I don't know how to pronounce. The ace uses that safe pallet up there on top of main, but there's not too many safe pallets available. You have Shack, and then you have that one there in main. You can somewhat... Oh my god! Get stuck right there. This map is a little bit difficult to play for Blight, but Xeno must have taken some time to practice. The survivors are playing it a little slow here. The ace does get away, so that is not an easy tunnel out just yet. There is no ruin, so this isn't passively regressing. Incredible flick there by Xeno. Oh, and Nia right there does not get away in time and will not be going down. Xeno a little bit maybe under pressure here. Does not get that swing right there. And is going for another quick hit right here. Oh my god. It's trying to play it very well. Sees because the aura of eruption, but does not get a quick hit just yet. Chooses to try to get that down right there, but is not actually taking the time to hook Ryu, and instead is just leaving him slugged. We'll see. Xeno does have a habit of... Oh my god, the patience right here. Oh, too much patience! And the survivor will be taking a hit down to the pallet. Will we be seeing 4-man slug? Xeno has done it in the past, especially on Billy sets. Goes for a flick into the middle of the ether. I don't know what he was going for there, but the survivors will be going down. That's 2 down. Oh my god, if we see a 4K at 5 gens, that would be insane.
Yeah, some people say that whenever Xeno is activating in terms of being frustrated, which is certainly something I understand after this delay due to the service, then he's activating and then he's playing in his best form. So maybe we're seeing that right here, because we also have 2 injured survivors, Ray. So we don't even have one of these survivors who's able to take 2 tags, besides a very nice data that we see on the ace right here. So trying to maneuver a little bit through this pretty complicated tile, getting a hit though through the pallet. And we are now going to move towards the next survivor over here, currently trying to start the first generator. Might be the first percentage advantage that is coming in at the moment for the Survivor team.
Oh my
Second
God.
down already. Zeno not letting go, shutting this down on a 4K with potentially 5 generators. Ray, that would be the most insane Blight performance that we have seen so far in this event. And I think even across Season 9, we will have a little bit of a checkup with our tournament analyst, Imitasia Toby, on that. But I do think we have never seen in DBDL a Blight that is 4King on 5 generators remaining. Flix and Ryan over here, they do have the Shack. Zeno, however, scouted one survivor in the distance. There's the Crow as well. Really nicely using the hill here to get a little bit of a better insight. Difficult pallet to maneuver around. Mind game being needed. And Zeno is not going to be successful. Yet it will be a quick down onto this Nia. Ray, it really looks like a 4K5.
It really does. Zeno is seemingly everywhere with Blight, able to just get across the map with just 5 measly rushes, has the double speed add-on, so it is even quicker. The survivors are trying to recover, but they need to get some full resets, especially because they have crunched through a lot of these mid-filler pallets. This might have been Zeno's plan all along, just 4-man slugging everybody. The survivors are doing a good job of just dying in corners far away from their teammates, but it doesn't seem to be just enough. They're not having any time to breathe. Zeno is just everywhere, all just breathing down all of their necks. They do have a lot of progress on some split generators right here, but it's just not enough time for them to complete any of them, especially because Zeno has Eruption as well. Is choosing to kick those gens, and then if he downs another survivor, that means it'll be 10% regression on there. Ooh, Flix does get healed all the way up to full, and so is the Sable, meaning that they won't be just an easy 2-tap. It does seem like this 4K5 is just slowly but surely slipping away, especially because whenever the survivors are fully healed, that means they are not making any grunts of pain and are able to stealth. And we know for certain that stealth is the enemy of S-tier killers. They have deadly chases, but the maps are pretty big. So if you stealth and force the killer to look around for a long time, it is harder to get all this map pressure, all these downs. We do see Nia, who is over here just trying to stealth, but going right back down onto the ground. Rayun is halfway bled out, I believe, during this balancing as well. But if a survivor completely bleeds out, that just means that all 3 of their stages are taken into account, right? Like, it doesn't matter. It's not just counting as one stage. It's all 3 stages.
Absolutely. You are very right on that. Rayoxium during the spooky time.
Okay.
Impressive to me to touch on real quick is how we are making a recovery from this very horrible situation that we have faced. We are now back to only 1 slugged survivor, so basically we reduced the number of slugged survivors by 50 to 75%, depending on what state of the game we're talking about. Very good work here by Team Rapture. Now picking each other up also, and all 3 survivors even being back to healthy. This is even more impressive. So the survivors really making sure that Zeno couldn't ride his confidence or his dominance wave that he started in the early game, and instead making sure that they are playing this very cool, not losing the patience, basically, not yeah, let's see. Oh, I'm getting alerted by Toby that back in the Deadly Rise League, there was 1 4K5 by Laser on the Blight. So, Zeno, thank you, Toby, our tournament analyst. By the way, if you're interested in any statistics about DBDLeague and the tournaments, you can join our Discord server, and there's a special channel now even where Toby is every week posting the current statistics. So, shout out there. And a big recommendation from me. So Zeno has the chance here to join one of the most perfect Blight performances next to Laser, but unfortunately we are going to see generator number 1 coming out. And now Rapture is motivated. Rapture is smelling blood in the water now. Rapture is on a dynamic wave. They are activating. They are absolutely smashing it here. Second generator already. They just doubled the current result. Third generator. Ray, my medicine is needed.
Yeah, that's what they get, you know. Xeno did try to go for a slugging strategy right there, but the survivors saw right through it and they were able to adapt and overcome. They saw the strategy and they quickly created another strategy for themselves to try to outplay Xeno right here. Ryan even here just waiting for a last second pull. Is it gonna be able to be body blocked or trying not to be body blocked? Oh my god. Except it is definitely going through. Very last 2 seconds that ace was on the hook. Gets saved Ryan right here. Back onto the ground. Uses one of the few filler pellets right there to delay the inevitable, but Xeno is out for blood. Knows exactly which exhaustion perk that the ace has. It is dead hard and tries to pull it off, but is not able to. Ace will be going down, and he is out for the count because he does not have decisive strike. Goodbye, Ace. Thank you for playing. It was a definite joy seeing you hit that dead hard and delaying that down from happening, but it won't be happening a second time. So now you're going up on the hook. Xeno choosing not to place Ryan up onto a hook either, and instead is going around the map. Now a slugging strategy would be viable now because of how many other survivors are left in this trial. Oh my god, I can't believe he didn't even swing for that. That would have been something I would have done, and I would have definitely have missed. Ryan takes his life and will be running away. Flicks taking an M1 tag, and Sable is out in the map. However, Xeno did kick a lot of generators a lot, so these generators could be close to being blocked, although those generators seem to be the ones that are done. We saw the bird all the way over here, meaning that Sable is diligently working on this generator right here. They might just sort of be just accepting that they might not be able to break that 3-gen. It is incredibly close. Oh my god, I can't believe that connected. That will probably be Sable going down, right? No, she uses the filler, delaying it just a little bit longer. Those other two survivors are in the game. They might be taking the time to reset, or they could just be chugging away on a generator. Both good options. Decisions. We see that Flix is all the way healed. They might have taken the time to meet up and are trying to get another generator done or a heal done. I'm not sure. They have a little bit of progress here at the mid side of the map. We know that that generator by Shaq had been worked on a little bit as well, and Xeno knows it too and is trying to sniff them out. But the survivors are playing a little bit stealthy. That is good for them, making Xeno have to search around, buying a little time for the survivor to recover, buying a little bit of time for them to do gens, except Ryan is found out here. Xeno sniffs him out, knocks Ryan to the ground. He is so dangerously close to being bled out that it might be Xeno's plan just to leave him on the ground. There's not really that much benefit to hooking him except for a Grim Embrace stack, but it's gotten to the point in the game where Grim probably doesn't even get you that much value if you try to force all of the stacks. Xeno instead is just trying to prevent another generator from getting done. A 4K2 can be something that is achievable. We'll see if Xeno is able to pull it off.
And now I'm still so much of a Rapture fan for their comeback here. 4K5, it really looked like that for a lot of time, and now we are still sitting here with 3 of their survivors good to go and getting some pressure done. Vasti going down onto the floor. Ryan needs to be very careful here as the injured survivor. If he's being taken somewhere or being found in a dead zone where not so many resources are available, it could look really tricky. Xeno checking over on the shack here, trying to find one survivor, suspecting that someone is in a locker. That's not the case though. The survivors instead trying to play it sneaky by the environment, trying to spread out across the generators also as much as possible, with only 3 survivors and one of them constantly rotating to get a slug from the ground. But still, Rapture is keeping up with the pressure here in a very significant way. We are now having the next kick here. 5% regression on that generator, but it's pretty far. So Xeno needs to be really careful. If there's any survivor in the back at the moment and he would now leave this area, they could immediately jump onto the generator and get it done. Therefore, it's very important here that Xeno is going to find Flix, even though it's not going to be the injury just yet. Flix might be able to run Xeno as long as it takes for Ryan to get the self-heal, meaning that we have one survivor in chase and 2 healthy survivors attacking the generator. So Rapture definitely putting pressure on generator number 4. They are moving closer to it. They are trying as best as possible. So far, they still make a coordinated impression to me also, which is, again, really impressive considering how much pressure they faced here and how many times they had to adjust their game plan and their strategy. Flicks going down now, Eruption doing a little bit of work, and this is a surprise, Ray. We haven't seen that yet. A slug is coming out.
Oh my god, is this something that is so unprecedented? I can't believe we're seeing him slug. Oh my god, this definitely will lead to a completely new playstyle that we'll have to do no balancing around, I'm sure of it. Oh my god, Flix is down onto the ground. He hasn't been slugged that much though, so his timer is not as low as Ryan. So, you know, Zeno might be trying to sniff him out because he could be somebody that is close to death, not letting the survivors have anything. He keeps picking these generators, applying eruption. It's definitely getting close to where everything has been kicked quite a bit. So we see Ryan over here still diligently working on a generator. The survivors are desperately just trying to squeeze out at least one more because a 4K2 is a huge difference between a 4K1. I will say though, the survivors are doing a fantastic job at adapting to the killer pick for this map. That generator is getting crunchy. We know those little spikes appear when it hits the 4 regression mark, and it was already visible from a little bit before he kicked it, so it's gotta be getting close, and either at like 6 or 7 regression events. This will be Ryan down on the ground. This is the one survivor you don't want to be slugged because he's definitely gonna bleed out. There's no way he doesn't bleed out at this point. That'll be one survivor erupted, so their aura is a little bit red, and that will be Sable taking a hit. Will Zeno look back and see another survivor working on the generator? He does not see anybody. Rune is dead. He has been dead. He is not in the game whatsoever. Zeno going for a little bit of a mind game here. Will he be getting the down? Yes! Does a fantastic job. Sable is on the ground. Where is Flix anywhere to be seen? Is he working on this generator? Oh my god, he's probably gonna get sniffed out. There's no way he doesn't. Yeah, he's dead. This will definitely be the end result of a 4K2. I am very proud of these survivors. They did a fantastic job at not getting 4K5. I know it's crazy to say, but man, they were able to pull it through, able to adapt to Zeno's slugging strategy. They should be feeling very good. They should be feeling very good for this result, especially with the start that Zeno had. They're able to just pull that through. GG's well played, and we'll have to see what their killer does too. Maybe they will also try to adapt a little bit of a slugging strategy.
Yeah, you almost have to at least consider it when you are coming in as Rapture's Blight, right? Because once again, the survivors are able to ignore any kind of 3-gen setup. Blight is really good in even making a 3-gen work that has more and more distance between the generators. So this is something that they definitely profit from. So the fact that Elysium can completely ignore any 3-gen spawning an Ormond, regardless of how tight it is, how difficult it is really huge and is going to add a lot for their confidence for the upcoming trial here. Vasti is going to bleed out as well. Now we're just checking if Flix has any sort of deliverance. Theoretically, he could run out of the basement, then spin Zeno 500 times, then Zeno loses him, and then they are going to go for a generator. So that's very possible. Deliverance now coming out here at the very end. And we are going to see a 1v1. No, unfortunately not. I mean, we can count it as one because we were at the shack here. Hatch escape wouldn't have counted as well. So we are actually going into the final trial. Yeah, Ray, you mentioned it. Potentially slugging is needed here. I would say it would make a lot of sense if the Blight is coming out. What definitely is needed is that the first chase needs to be almost a 2-tap instantly. You don't have any time for, I mean, this also wouldn't count, unfortunately, but it would be style points.
I can't believe Flix was able to just ghost away like that. He definitely was able to just sneak away a little bit. Oh my god, can we please see a Mori? I swear to god, these players are not fun. Oh my god, what the heck? Not going for a Mori is actually just BM at this point. Like, oh my god! This is so sad.
Ray is voting for a point deduction.
Yeah. making it so that, man, we had to sit through that entire slugging thing and he's not even gonna give us a Mori. L, I say. Anyway, that will be a 4K1. Or 4K2, sorry, 4K2. So if Rapture wants to win, they have to 4K3, which is a crazy result. But you know, it's not impossible. We all saw that Xeno almost had a 4K5. So that is definitely Rapture. What are they gonna do? Are they also gonna adapt to a slugging strategy? Oh, we don't know.
Very impressive from both sides, that's for sure. Elysium here, Xeno with the 4K on 2 generators standing, setting his team up for ignoring a 3-gen. Very impressive. And when we are looking at the actual trial, I feel like 4K on 3 generators completed sounds so horrible for Team Rapture. But when you're looking into the actual trial, seeing how good they were doing counterplay after counterplay after counterplay, there's definitely a lot of reasons to be proud of here for Team Rapture. So we are going to set up the next lobby and hopefully we will see you in a couple of minutes as it's supposed to be. We will see you in a moment. Everyone, we already got a heart attack again because we were loading in with 3 survivors, but then it fixed itself. I was ready to scream, this time with just a short break. Back onto Ormond with Crow coming in for Team Rapture, facing the survivors of Team Elysium, which are Grenade, Swatter, Pedro, and the one and the only Xeno. We need 4 generators completed, meaning that the survivor team can just ignore any 3-gen in this map, making it excessively difficult for the Blight to take any pressure to defend an area and ultimately also take the win. And we were talking about the early game, Ray. We were talking about how basically this Blight needs an instant 2-tap, and it doesn't seem like Xeno wants to allow that here.
That was an incredibly good fast hold from Xeno there. This is definitely, I would not be wanting to chase the survivor who just played the killer last game. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you, oh my god, that was crazy. No, he's just giving out this tag for free. Xeno, please. I was about to say, you don't want to play against somebody who seems to know everything about a killer. That is just really, really hard chases. It feels like they're just in your head. They know exactly what you're thinking. Are we going to see something interesting coming on right here? And a swing and a miss. Xeno playing so very well. He's in his element. He is locking in after that first hit. He's deciding not to take another, except that tree is extremely lovely and had to take a second to look at it just a little bit more. A very good vault right there will be resulting in buying some more seconds. The survivors are able to bang out at least 1 generator. That is something that took a long time for them to do last game. So the fact that we still are in a chase, our very, very first chase here against the Blight, means that the survivors are banging out those motors. We will see Xeno still gets a vault right there, doing a fantastic job. This Blight is not doing anything too much to predict the movements of the survivor, but it will result in a down right there. Incredibly good first chase. Those 3 survivors were able to bang out 2 of the mid-gens. This is looking like this might just be a win for the survivors already. This beginning game right here is just exactly what they needed.
Yeah, what you're pointing out is important, right? The generators being located in the midsection of Ormond here. So what you are now facing on the killer side is all the outside generators, where you have more travel distance between the generators, where the survivors have an easier time sneaking towards the next filler pallet behind the rocks that are scattered at the outside as well. So all of that is available for you on the survivor side, and this is really making it easier now to only smash 2 more generators. That would already be enough to have the win condition here. 1 more gen would be the tie, and this is also the chance in general. I feel like for Elysium to make a little bit of a comeback. They started really rough. They were affected by the delay today more than Team Rapture, I felt like. Then we had this very unfortunate restart also that affected Elysium a little bit more than Rapture, and now Xeno with his fantastic performance on the Blight and another great performance from Elysium on the survivor side, basically making sure here that they are not only bringing us set point wise back to a 1-1. Instead, overall, we are talking about Elysium finding their confidence back and looking really strong here. So let's see what Crow can do, because we already need a little bit of a miracle. There's Xeno now dropping this pallet on the top side of main that needs to be broken for the killer. Third generator coming out, so we are minimum talking about the tie here. Very nice. The DH coming out from Xeno, crouching even before to lose the Blight from the FOB, and then making sure that the dangerous E is applied with the perfect timing. Crow shouldn't be chasing this. He realizes this as well now. Xeno dragged him all the way to the corner of the map on the opposite side. They are cranking out these generators, 60% already on this next objective, and it would be the last one that the Survivor team needs. And even Granout is kinda flying under the radar of Crow right here. Pedro being found, making sure that he's not going to take the tag, even keeping the pallet here for himself. Honestly, Ray, Elysium is not only going to win this set if they are going to keep playing like this, they're gonna set a new tone of dominance for the rest of the best of 5 if they are keeping it.
We can already see Pedro here as well, just doing a fantastic job of just not giving a hit here at the simple little filler pallet. This is not what you want to see from Blight gameplay. You don't want to do much of a time sink on just these small little pallets. Will be taking a hit eventually, but just those precious seconds buy more time for survivors to spread out doing gens. Even right here, it feels like the survivors are just playing super confidently. You only have one person who's working on a gen, and all the rest of the team is taking the time to reset right here as well. They're just going to give the make hit over to Swatter, who's going to put himself into a better position where he has balanced landing to get away, and will be trying to just buy even more time. Granout does take a tag, but is overcoming and running towards the mid-map. These two survivors are doubling this generator. It does seem like even if Crow wanted to, he couldn't even get over there in time to stop it. So that will be the win for Elysium. There they go. They do win. However, this was their killer pick, so maybe they aren't as dominant as they think coming into this, trying to reduce the confidence level of the other team. They're thinking, well, you know, this wasn't our killer pick. We will just try to win in the next set, which will be super interesting because it is a Halloween Huntress set. So that could be anything. We did see Team Elysium struggling against the Chucky on the Larry's map. Their communication was good, yes, but it wasn't top tier, giving out that first set to Rapture. So we're going back indoors. We'll have to see if they can pull out a victory against Rapture on that kind of scenario once again. Yes, they did win this set, but this was theirs and they have practiced. So we'll have to see what the rest of this game is going to look like, but these survivors are doing such a good job. They did give themselves a little bit of a 3-gen scenario over here, but there's not a lot of stages that have been given up to hooks. So it's still looking very good for Elysium.
It absolutely looks good. Yeah, they are still riding this wave a little bit. Crow was kind of able now to get a little bit of pressure back, some quicker chases, 2 hook stages, but besides that, we also see the survivors have absolutely denied that afterwards. 4 of them are being healthy, and they even go, like, even these little things, they work today, where you're trying to be a little bit cheeky. We've seen it with Granout here as well. Xeno even making sure that the killer is forced into making this decision between chasing or letting go, and Xeno with confidence here on this very, very unsafe pallet. Beautiful to see them with so much confidence here, looking really, really strong. Generators also facing a good amount of progress, 80% already over here, and if Crow is not immediately coming over here, then we are going to be in the end game. And even if he would interrupt that survivor, we are having another gen prepared on 60%, so there is something in the backup sleeve of these survivors ready to go. Let's see now, Crow coming in over towards this tile here, and that is going to be generator number 5, 2 stages game, ladies and gentlemen. Elysium absolutely smashing it. We are going to be in the Huntress jump scare set on the game next, and for this one we obviously won't take a break. break, and I do think, knowing Ray as a Huntress main and very passionate about the game, we will definitely be able to fill the break, even if the server breaks twice.
What the heck?
But yeah, maybe already moderating into the upcoming trial here, Ray. We have this add-on that is keeping the Huntress undetectable after reloading. We have the one-shot. We are playing on the game. How would you plan your strategy as a Huntress when these are the rules and the map that you're facing?
Well, it's really hard thing to plan for because we haven't really seen too much gameplay from sort of rule set just like this, right? This is so funny to try to commentate when we're watching this right here. They're trying to get just another down. I'm sorry, but it's just crazy. There's 3 survivors here who are just trying to get this one other person out, and Crow is just having to make a weird decision. Will they commit for a hit right here? We do have Xeno over here. Body blocking. I mean, it doesn't matter, but they're trying so hard. They want to get out all these stages. Always waiting for the sprint burst. That's fun. Oh, it's not gonna be enough. Is it enough? Is it enough? Oh my god. Try not to give another attack right there. It's gotta be a couple seconds where just hit at least one of them, men.
Wow, this is peak coordination at the moment. Do you see how pixel perfect Xeno is blocking every single time, and they are going to make it out. The emoting there as well, just making sure that in case the hit would come through, that the survivor can immediately crawl on the ground, making it out. 2-stage game. All 4 Elysium survivors walking out of the door. They're very, very impressive. And now back to the interview of the international Huntress expert, Ray. The game, one-shot Huntress, and we are going to have undetectable after reload. What would you play or plan as the Huntress going into that?
Okay, yeah, sorry, I couldn't do that while they were just doing this like intense little gameplay there. So Huntress on the map, you wouldn't think that it would be really, really hard to just get eyes on the killer because Huntress is not a 100% stealthy killer, right? She has her lullaby radius, which is, I believe, 42 meters. Biggest radius out of the entire roster of killers, bigger than Wesker's radius, which I think is 40 meters. So her lullaby is ever present on that map, but she has a famously small terror radius, the heartbeat. It's only 20 meters. But when you reload at a locker, you have to go through the reload animation. You can't just open it. It gives you undetectable for around 10 seconds. I can't remember the exact amount of time, but that makes you stealthy. You would think it would be that much, but it is really, really difficult. Her ability to sort of sneak up on you. These add-ons are forced, by the way, so you have just one hatchet. You have an eerie head, so it makes you incredibly dangerous. We saw something like this in the last time that we had Huntress in on Larry's, I believe. We saw like a 4K5. I don't remember who it was, but it was incredibly interesting. So you can try to lean into more stealthy approach and try to catch survivors out. On the game, there are a lot of walls on the bottom side of the map, but the top has a little bit more open area, so you can spot her just a little bit further away. So the comms do have to be on point. They have to be super, super on point because you getting caught out can result in an insta down, as if Chucky's dash would just immediately murder you, take you out, destroy your internet. So you have to be so very careful. It's incredible snowball potential. I don't know if we will see Killer Slug, because Huntress really, really benefits from camping, especially because if she has the eerie head, she could just raise her hatchet right at the hook. And guess what? You're not saving. It doesn't matter if you're injured or not. Maybe if you pull off an incredibly well-timed dead hard, maybe, but the Huntress will definitely be looking forward to that. So we have seen a Huntress set we saw one played today. The perks were just incredibly different. They're incredibly new. So I'm not really sure what to expect coming through. We did see a Huntress use the perk Darkness Revealed, which is when you search a locker, survivors within, I think it's 8 meters of another locker, you see their aura for a couple seconds. So that could be really good in finding survivors. However, the killer had to lock in their perks the day before. So they can't adjust their build trying to see what worked really well earlier. They can't do that. They have to use the perks that they have already submitted. I don't know what they are. Like I said, I don't look ahead, so I'm going to be just as surprised as you guys. I'm very interested. Zeno might be trying to slug if he plays Huntress for Elysium. I would almost guarantee that we see that. So we can see some aura reading perks potentially. There are a couple banned, but I think it's only something like Awakened Awareness and Nowhere to Hide. But Darkness Revealed is definitely allowed. I would be surprised if we didn't see at least one of the Huntress players use it, especially the team that picked this set, the Halloween Huntress set. So these games are so very interesting. I really don't know what to expect. I don't even know like what the game plan is. I'm sure these teams have practiced it, but I personally don't really have an idea. What do you think, Dyer?
So earlier we have definitely seen that the one-shot potential from this jump scare Huntress can really catch the players off guard. What you basically need is perfect in-game communication. We have also seen Babu, it was, I believe, who was constantly throwing the hatchet away to basically have undetectable status all the time. So this was a really big thing, basically, because Yonoya absolutely fumbled with that. Mm-hmm. And when you are basically not knowing at the moment where the Huntress is, you already have to get away from the generators. You already have to be extra careful. You need to ignore that the killer is potentially just going for some generator regression, potentially making sure that you are not playing in any way definitely affecting your gameplay. I'm getting alerted about something in the background. So there is Imitatia Toby coming in again. We had a 4K at 5 gens remaining in the winter circuit. X9 Wispy was the Huntress back in the day. It was played on Larry's, and the 4K 5 was against Rapture, funny enough. Okay, so Rapture is here today showing us a little bit of a comeback. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Toby, our tournament analyst with all the statistics in our main server in Discord with his own channel, presenting you every week what you need to know about these tournaments. Thank you so much, Toby, because that is actually really fun to know that this was against Rapture. So they're starting on killers, so they can definitely set the tone for their upcoming trial then. But yeah, in best case, you're going for some big confusion onto Elysium, but for that, you would need to crack their incredibly good communication.
Ryan right here. Oh my god, that would have been a hitbox hit and a half if he had gotten that, but instead is not able to get it just yet. Ultimate Weapon is also an interesting choice that lets him find survivors who are nearby by opening the locker, except did not go off right there. It was still on cooldown, I'm sure. And then Darkness Revealed also again. It was ooh, counting on that, the patience right there. That will be rewarding the very first down of the game. We didn't see much in terms of slowdown perks. These are all just finding survivor perks. We have 2 of them, and then we have Hex Wretched Fate, which is actually just incredibly hilarious to me. Because it feels like just a nerfed version of like Pentimento, because it curses the Obsession to have 20% penalty to just repairing generators. I think there might be some other stuff in there as well. Ultimate Weapon coming through clutch. Darkness Revealed as well. Ryan knows exactly where every single survivor is on the map. So they can definitely go out there and pressure. The Huntress isn't forced to camp in this sort of scenario. The game is actually not that huge of a map. It's just 2 layers stacked on top of each other. So it is going to be really difficult for them to just get anywhere stealthily, especially with the Huntress just raising her hatchet. You know, you have to look behind yourself, you have to juke, you have to be thinking about every corner you turn, looking in front of you, looking behind you. Will they dodge out? Oh my god, incredibly good patience there from iPick, not allowing the Huntress to have any sort of inch given. Rooney is just raising his hatchet, trying to zone, but incredibly good pathing from iPick. It's just like didn't even dodge whatsoever. He just ran right through there. The survivors are confident as well. Yes, they don't have any generators done, but they're doing a good job of not giving out any tags. They do have a healthy amount of progress. Right here, yes, this will be the first generator getting done. Zeno also brought in No Mither. He's just thinking about slugging already. He said, you know, I'm gonna plan on slugging. Maybe I should give myself no mither so that you can't. First generator gets done, that activates the top Architect's Wretched Fate. That means Grenout, if you are working on generators, man, it's gonna take you just a little bit longer to do. Ryan throws his hatchet because that will allow him to reload and give himself the Wooden Fox add-on that will make him undetectable for just a little bit longer. There we go, ultimate weapon, and darkness revealed, revealing the locations of all these survivors. However, look at them, they already know what they are planning on doing. Throws this pallet, makes it incredibly safe. The Huntress does have to kick it, and she is now back into just searching around for other survivors. This is also a problem with the game map. There is a lot of safe filler pallets, especially if pre-thrown, just like how those survivors are doing it. They're doing a great job of just playing around this set. Yeah, we see another survivor here, and there we go, another pre-drop. Will they be able to get away from this? No, it seems like Rone's got this locked and loaded. That will be Swatter onto the ground.
Now we need a little bit of work on the generator front. One of them is completed so far, but not so much just yet. They don't care about the hex below them, or they consider it too dangerous. A swatter is now also hooked in this area, and they don't want to have an additional down, but this is definitely an objective for these survivors later on. Seeing the aura now, trying to go for the down, that works out. On to I pick here, Grenout and Zeno, the two injured survivors, and we see the struggle that we talked about, Ray. The surprise effect can be really, really big. Two survivors slugged onto the floor, the other two survivors injured already, so Elysium struggling. Very surprising after this very great set that we have seen. We were basically talking about how much confidence you need on the survivor side to play a good Blight set, and we saw so much confidence, especially after they took all these survivors out of the door, and now they're walking into the game here and having such a difficult situation at them. 4 injured survivor now. Whoa! Grenout taking it while, I believe, vaulting down, right? So mid-air, he was basically taking that hatchet. Very unfortunate here for the survivors as well. There's the chance for Team Rapture to take a 4K here, even a 4K with a very impressive number of remaining generators. Yet, we have seen how good Elysium is when we are talking about comebacks. So, you better have a second down and more to follow here.
We also saw that Ryan was able to get Zeno up on the hook. That's the problem with the slugging strategy, is that Zeno brought no mither, so you can't fully commit to a 4-man slug, unfortunately. But everybody is injured now, and there is a stealth Huntress out there. She might not have a hatchet, and she is 110, but it does not matter, because if you get snuck up on and you are caught out of position, that will be you down for the count. I'm not sure if the survivors are going to take the time to also heal, because yeah, you are one shot if she sneaks up on you. And right here, the Huntress is hot on the trail of Zeno, not able to get that down right there, so now she is 110 without any sort of way to outplay any of these safer pallets. Will be leaving that chase understandably, and is instead gonna sneak right up onto the survivor right here. The comms, where are they? They are missing! The easy part about Huntress only having one hatchet like this is that you are definitely able to call out if she has thrown it. There is definitely a little bit of fun thing that happens whenever you are playing a Huntress set. Everybody always says, count your hatchets, count your hatchets, count your hatchets. Well, it's a lot easier to count to 1 than 7. So we can see the survivors are a little bit caught out right here. Will this be I pick down into the ground? Yes, that is. We also saw a survivor right there working on the generator right next to it. Oh, they thought that they could get that pallet save, but no dice. Look at all this generator progress, however. It seems like they are at 4 gens, but it's more like they're at 2 with how much progress is just spread around the map. 2 gens at 51, about 70, 80. That will be I pick up on the hook, our 4th fresh of the day. Though the Huntress would probably be wanting to see if she can get more than just that. Having a tunnel out right now would just be amazing, but unfortunately that is still 140 seconds away. Just reload, giving themselves the undetectable I saw Xeno sneak in for the save right here, so that is everybody back in the game. They've elected to not take the time to heal because it would be such a huge time sink, and with Ruin still available out and about, that means that it's not going to be such an easy task. Raven is trying to be patient with the hatchets and outplay their movement, but the survivors are utilizing all of the line of sight breakers to not make it so easy.
Now, Ryan getting a little bit out of the loop here, I must say. The survivors are making a pretty impressive comeback. As we were saying, Team Elysium is known for that they are facing challenges almost like another objective during the game. They don't really worry about that too much. Second generator being completed, the hex totem now being removed from the trial as well. I don't think Granite will successfully make that towards the window. Nice fake though with the hatchet here. This time it should be definitely the M1 if I'm not mistaken. Wow! Getting out the absolute juice here onto Ryan, delaying it for maybe just 5 to 8 seconds, and you might ask yourself, yeah, well, does it really make that much of a difference? The answer is yes. Very often we are seeing that generators are about to be done, just like Swatter here, and if you are having the killer arriving at your generator 5 to 8 seconds earlier than that, you might not be able to get that generator into the full completion anymore. So third generator being completed now. Feels like Elysium is picking up the momentum again, working on their coordination, bringing back the efficiency on the generators as well. They don't go for the healing here, which is very understandable considering we have the one-shot Huntress forced by these Halloween rules. But what's important now is that they're keeping perfect track of the Huntress, or alternatively at least being careful enough, because I feel like if there's any survivor that is now going down too quickly or as an additional slug, then Ryan is back in the position where he has the pressure and where he can kind of decide what the survivors are able to do on this map here. So it's really important now that Elysium is keeping up this confidence that we are having at the moment, that they are able to maintain some sort of stability when we're talking about the current level of pressure. Also, iPick is responsible for that now in the next chase. Surprisingly here, not going for the filler pallet, but that would also contain some W holding and therefore being difficult, and instead he also has the balanced landing ready to go. So really nice decision making here, using the staircase to waste a little bit of extra time, and we are talking again about 15 to 20 seconds that are added to the survivor side this time. Together with the 5 to 8 seconds, we're already talking about half a minute, and this can be the difference between generators being done or not. We see it wonderfully right here again. This little bit of extra cheeky balanced landing play allows Swatter to go for generator number 4, which would already mean, Ray, that Team Rapture on their survivor side cannot ignore a 3-gen. If we would shut it down right here, they would need to get rid of the final generator, which is already a huge achievement.
We do see a lot of health states out there. However, iPick and Grenout are one hook stage away from being out of the game. They're going to try to just commit. As soon as they just figured out that they didn't need to heal, this game has been going a lot more quick. A lot more quickly, it's a lot quicker. We have the survivors here who are just trying to get a little bit more distance, is not able to get that hatchet throw that he was just holding W, but it was a strong W hold indeed. Swatter here. Oh wait, no, that wasn't Swatter, that was Grenout. I was looking at the little chasings on the left. But the survivors are still doing a good job, you know, they're not being caught out. Oh, Xeno's using distortion as well, able to hide a little bit from the ores, except ultimate weapon is making it so it's selling him out just a little bit more. Everybody is injured now, but there's only one generator left. It seems like they're gonna just try to hard commit for a 4K with no generators remaining. That could be a good goal with some ideas that maybe somebody is going to make it out. But with so many stages that are just out there, it's gonna be difficult. Xeno does try to force the locker right there. That means that iPick will not be tunneled out. Xeno with 2 more stages, however. We'll have to see if the survivors are able to get outs through the door. It is going to be a little bit more difficult, but if they split, I can assure you it'll probably be at least one. That was a good hatchet throw, unable to connect to anybody. However, Swatter here is up on the ticket because he is worth the most stages. Look to see if Ryan will try to commit to it down here. Oh, man, look at this nice guy, not even tunneling anybody out. I'm sure all the new viewers are just so impressed. They're so happy. No tunneling, no camping. Oh, skill baby. Oh, we're gonna see another snipe here. No, has the orb reading, but unfortunately is not able to connect with it. The survivors are doing a fantastic job of just keeping eyes on the killer and placing objects between them. They might have an idea that Darkness Revealed is in play. Swatter here is definitely the golden child pick for a down because he is worth the most amount of stages, and it would be really hard for the survivors to body block a hit such as this because Hunter's recovery from a hatchet throw is way it's way quicker. Oh my god, that dead hard hit would have just been insane. We can see that the survivors are still trying to get everybody out through the door. Unfortunately, it will not be happening. This will be iPick, who is dead on hook, so it's not worth the most stages, but it's still better than nothing. So that is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 stages? 4 fresh? That is a lot of stages, but unfortunately, not able to get a tunnel out.
8 stages indeed. So essentially we're talking about 3 kills, right? There would be 9 stages, and that would definitely secure that Team Elysium is getting the win here in set number 3 for themselves. Let's find out if they are able to do that. We are hopping on a quick break. We hope that there's no further delay, so see you soon.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Halloween Huntress jump scare set. Now we have Elysium playing Xeno on the Huntress. We also see Darkness Revealed. I knew that perk was gonna be clutch. However, Xeno does have a safer Huntress build. Grim Embrace, No Way Out, Corrupt Intervention, all different flavors of stall perks. Quick side mention, there isn't very many things that are banned, but you are not allowed to... Oh my god! That scared me a little bit. I don't even knew that the Ada was there. Anyway, there's only a little limited amount of balancing. You cannot run Grim Embrace with Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. So that might be a reason why that we're not seeing another slowdown perk coming through here. The killer's opting just to take Grim Embrace instead. That little maneuver by that Ada right there. Oh my god! It just buys them so much time. Standing with that pallet right there. Xeno not incredibly patient with the hatchet. Needs to hold it just a little bit longer because a small dodge like that is gonna be difficult, lemon difficult to be able to get another tag. Oh, loses that 50-50 mind game there. However, that will be tapped on the ground at 5 generators. Not too much generator progress to speak of. The survivors have split and they're gonna try to beat this result. There was escapes last time. There was 8 stages, 4 fresh. So basically, we're just gonna say like maybe the killer is just trying to go for at least 3 kills. It needs to be on unique survivors as well if they want to meet at that 8 stage mark. It is basically impossible. They need 9 stages. Uses Darkness Revealed to just sniff out the survivor over here who was stealthy near this generator. That is a safe pallet right there. Oh my god! Oh my god, should have just released it. There's a time and there's a place to be patient. Oh my god, Xeno! What are you doing? Has to M1 tag the ace right there. That will be another survivor injured. It doesn't seem like the survivors are taking the time to heal. Why would ya? There's an insta-down hatchet on the loose, and the survivors are gonna have to recover from this situation because it's not looking super good. But if they can dodge the hatchets like they have been, it will definitely be very, very good for the survivors.
And a very important fact about our survivor that got one tapped earlier here on the screen is one of the 7 survivors in All Hallows League that hasn't died yet. So Rapture better making sure that they're getting the generators done and then bringing our tab out of the door here. I also heard that Xeno was deathless so far in AHL. This has changed now with the sets that we have seen today, but all the way until then, very impressive. Ryan going down as well, though. Maybe we just jinxed it with the information that Bue needs to go out of the door to keep his streak up of always being a survivor that is alive. But so far, it looks again pretty definitely tricky, and we had this in the previous trial as well, Ray. We had Elysium struggling, and they made the comeback. So I would say it's definitely possible here for Team Rapture. We are having both of these survivors on their first stage. We are not having any slug in addition to that, so 2 survivors can still rotate back and forth, making sure that they're getting the teammates off the hook. But Xeno definitely doing a lot of work here for himself, waiting for this generator to unblock. So we are able to get the 5% regression in, and now we are back to the stealth mode, trying to go for a little bit of chaos here across Team Rapture. What's definitely going to be tricky though is getting the rescue from the basement, Ray.
Especially because the Huntress is seemingly near that area. That might just be Ryan dead. Most likely dead, especially because the survivors are also just opting not to heal. So even though there is an iridescent head, you're just gonna go down to an M1 attack. There are 2 safe pellets over here, but it's getting really, really close to that mark where the survivor is going to go to struggle. So it might be the survivors are just gonna commit to doing gens. But if I were Xeno, I would be comfortably just camping the hell out of Ryan in the basement, because getting a tunnel out will be fantastic. Even right here, Xeno knows that him just staying right here near this hook just forces the survivor also up there, who's just sort of hovering to see if they'll leave, but they never do. Flix is caught out in a really bad position. There's not enough generator progress to be playing this aggressive. They might have been able to get a lot more generator progress just by having everybody split on these gens, but it's just not enough. Xeno has a lot of stages. Is somebody so very close to just going next that even Xeno right here just pressuring the survivor off this generator is just buying all these precious seconds, especially if you're considering the fact that he has 3 no way out stacks. Oh, it's not looking good for the survivors. This is just too high amount of generator that needs to be done for all of these stages that are coming through. And then look at this Huntress at basement. She could literally just 2-tap Ryan if he was coming up through. Oh, except that Xeno missed the hatchet. So like, that's so sad. Oh, ow, it was so close. It was 1 second away. And now you know what that that M1 just did right there is also just forced Ryan to have made for this. So even if Xeno were to just take the time to chase that survivor, it would just take so very long. And I think Xeno is not even playing around. He's getting his second stage onto the tap right there, meaning that it's the same scenario. It could be that we will see Tap just die there in the basement 70 seconds away. I don't even think the survivors have enough gen pressure to recover from this. Like, even if they were to just sit on gens while Tap is dying in the basement, I don't think it's gonna be enough.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be pretty tricky, because the time factor is coming more and more into clutch here, and we also don't, even on the hook stages, right? Even if we would say now brutally gens before friends and we would smash everything into these objectives, Bue really doesn't have this much time to offer here for the survivor team, and Ryan eventually is also going to go down on the floor. Xeno though with an unfortunate whiff here. Now going towards the basement, realizing that if the down onto Ryan doesn't work so far, then we could at least make sure that there is going to be the elimination on this survivor, and we're just going to take Flix instead. The survivor that is fresh hook. That's a surprising choice here. Yeah,
it does activate Grim Embrace though.
Yeah, that's going to be the only reason why it's going to be a little bit of an advantage for Xeno here, 40 seconds on the generator, but we also, in exchange to that, have 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the hook. So if we are comparing a little bit of Grim Embrace compared to getting an entire survivor out of the game, I hope that Xeno really made this calculation well. Let's see if he's able to make the benefit of that. No Way Out already has 4 stacks as well, but this would ultimately not come in clutch here for this win condition, as we need a 4K on the current generators. So far, Elysium has repaired 3 generators overall. No, wait, 8 stages. What am I talking?
Yeah.
Right. This is a long day. This is a long day, and I'm mixing up the teams. We need 9 stages, so it does actually come in clutch. So it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Ray, please take over. I
was gonna let it slide, but I feel like you were a little bit underestimating the power of Grim Embrace right there, especially because when Zeno put him on the hook, activating Grim. Oh my god, that would have been insane. When you activated it, it also shows the aura of the Obsession, who just so happened to be that survivor who was on Death Hook. So Zeno could have just gone after Tap. It is just so happened that he found Ryan, who is now dead and out of the game. Flix is in basement right there. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, Flix dies. The game's over. I'm going ahead. It'll be almost impossible for them to recover from this situation. Like, get out of the basement versus a Huntress and then get all these gens done and then avoid giving it down in endgame because, you know, the doors are gonna be blocked. It's not looking good. Zeno did a fantastic job in this set, even though he missed quite a few hatchets. But right here, I don't know why he doesn't just go for a double tap on a survivor. Like, you do have the time. But, you know, that's another survivor that's down. But guess what? This is just a win con. Like, no matter what they do, because basement exists and because Huntress is fantastic at camping, yeah, this is just this is another win for Elysium. How many wins is that so far? 2? That's only 2? Oh my god.
Very good work so far from our killer here. Zeno bringing it back. I sorted myself with a little bit of water. It's been a long day, everyone. So apologize from my side. Luckily, we have Ray to catch me if it's needed. Very nice, though, that we also get the information here, being able to track down the 2 remaining survivors. That should be a pretty quick down, at least when it's going according to Zeno here, who's trying to make sure now that we are getting this trying to get the hatchet over this tile here. A little bit of a mind game with the pallet, and ultimately Vasti is throwing it too early, which Zeno says thank you for this advantage, and that's going to be the hatchet and the down, leaving Flix is a very poor final standing individual here in the trial. Keep in mind, everyone, the hatch escape is not going to be possible, at least not when we are talking about the win condition here. We would have needed all the gens, but a few style points could definitely be awarded for Team Rapture before we are going into the potentially final set of the day, Ray, which is going to be the Tier 3 Myers. We have seen this killer earlier. It's also a very dangerous set, especially the special rule. This is so sad. This is so sad that Ace was not allowed to finish his.
Missing a hatchet. Oh my god.
Put him on Twitter, Elmo, this is calm.
You know what? I'm making fun of him just because Zeno is just refusing to give us any sort of finish and worry, especially because Huntress is now third person. Like, come on, we want at least a little bit of cinematic end to these incredibly long matches that you guys are making us commentate. So that could be the least you could do. Anyway.
Very fair, Ray. I share that. I also, we're seeing way too little Morris in our tournament. So with these endgame Morris, we are now all hoping that it's going to be a little bit better. But yeah, at least Zeno is not on our side for that. Congratulations to Team Elysium taking the second set point of today. One more is missing. We are moving into the Tier 3 Michael, being played on Hawkins National Laboratory. And Ray, I was talking about it before, then we saw this very cute interaction between Zeno and the Ace. There's a special rule for the Michael. Either they are bringing Unforeseen or Trial of Torment. One of these 2 perks needs to be in the trial to cause a little bit of being undetectable and hidden on the Michael side. Now, pretty straightforward question to you, because so far the teams really disagree with the perk choice. Some of them are going for Trail of Torment, where you have no terror radius, but the generator is highlighted and it can be instantly counterplayed, or Unforeseen, where the generator is taking your heartbeat. Which one would be your choice when we are talking about these 2 perks?
That's really difficult because, okay. Well, we'll talk about the difference between the 2 perks first. Both are perks that when you kick a generator, you get undetectable. With Unforeseen, you kick the gen, it doesn't, like, the gen doesn't get highlighted. When you kick a gen with Trail of Torment, it highlights the generator. But with Unforeseen, it's on a timer. It's about like 30 or so seconds that you get to kick the generator, and then you are stealthy. Here's the thing. yes, the gen doesn't get highlighted, so the survivors don't know when you activate it, but this is a comp game, right? Like, the survivors don't know where you are. That's already an L. Like, you're already just kind of throwing at that point. So it doesn't matter if the gen highlights, because with Trail of Torment, it isn't on a timer. It's until the generator stops regressing, or it just stops regressing, either by a survivor working on it, or I believe it going all the way to 0. So you can be like, yeah, I'll kick the gen, it'll highlight, everybody in the game will know where I am. And that could be a possible like game throwing thing, especially if you are successfully like stealthing away from the survivors and they don't know where you are. But like I said, I feel like if they don't know where you are and you are an infinite tier 3 Myers, you're already kind of in trouble. So I'm not sure which one I would take. I really don't know. You know what? I go for Trail of Torment. Who cares? Who cares if they know which generator you kicked and highlighted? At least it isn't on a timer. Yeah, the survivors are going to know that you're kicking it and you're stealthy and they're going to go try to stop it regressing. But that could be like just a point of contestant, right? Like you could just stand near that highlighted generator and wait for somebody to come through. There's a lot more potential for you to like do when you just have that unlimited amount of stealth, as to opposed to unforeseen, where you just have a limited amount of time.
And you're also basically putting up an objective, right? Because who's telling you that the survivor team really wants to get right now on that generator that you kicked? So the survivor team has to see, okay, there's the generator with the aura, there's Trail of Torment. Who of us is now going to move over here to the generator to stop it? And then either at the killer, you definitely know where to find the survivor. Where's a good area to look for them, because they are coming here very soon, trying to stop the generator from regressing, or you're just putting up an extra objective that is making them wasting a little bit of extra time. For example, if someone is then extra going cross map, trying to make sure that this is the generator and they are on the mission to stop that generator. It seems like we are ready to go. Maybe in the night the servers are less busy, and this is allowing us to host some sort of tournament rather than lobby crash, a simulator. But yeah, we are going into what's potentially the final set of today, the tier 3 Myers. And it will be a very interesting set. As I said earlier, the jump scare Huntress had a lot of surprising potential. So did the tier 3 Myers. And what's really interesting so far in the playoffs of AHL, these Halloween sets are absolutely unpredictable. We have seen the big names like Eternal struggle yesterday with the Onryo Halloween set. We have seen newcomer teams taking over in the Halloween set. We have seen both teams falling apart on the Halloween set as they are not used to it. So everything can happen, and it's impossible to make a call who's going to be stronger here. Zeno is going to take the responsibility for Team Elysium, going against Flix, Boy, Vasti, and Ryan. And therefore, we are going to see if we're finding these survivors quickly and straight up at the beginning, getting a good amount of dog progress in, trying to make sure that the tier 3 is filling very quickly, because this is also one chance for a counterplay, right? When 1 or 2 survivors are staying very hidden and play a perfect hide and seek, you can cause a lot of damage in this set.
Yep. It seems like they are doing a fantastic job of not letting Zeno know exactly where they are, except we do spot a little bit of an ace right there. That will be the official start of the match. They are hot on the trail. The thing is, with Myers in tier 1, he's incredibly slow. So the survivors do a really good job of just going around corners and preventing him from getting to tier 2. Spoke too soon. That will be a huge time waste. However, Zeno is now at tier 2. Oh, look at that! He kicked the gen! Zeno has a different idea of what's the better perk. Kicks it unforeseen, sets your terror radius. I forgot about this part. It transfers your terror radius to that generator. So it can just seem like the killer is just around there, and then it gives you undetectable for 30 seconds. So there is that tiny little bit of thing that I forgot to mention. So maybe it is a little bit better for the killer to just kick and use unforeseen, but it's not seeming like it's giving it Zeno too much use just yet. They are running out of time. Corrupted Invention is running out, and Xeno still hasn't even gotten a single tag. He's still in tier 2, not even halfway out of it. Kicks this generator. Unforeseen has a long cooldown. I think it is also just 30 seconds. So 30 seconds of transferring your Terradius within 30 seconds of a cooldown. So he won't be able to use that to get any more stealth up on the survivors just yet. He's just looking around. These survivors are doing a fantastic job. Rapture making themselves scarce. Xeno struggling to find somebody else, transfers his Terradius to that generator right there. Ryan just looking around, trying to see the Myers. They might have an idea that it is in play, and they're calling that out, telling their teammates that yes, there is stealth that is happening. Be careful. Xeno is on the loose. They're trying to get this generator done, which is actually an incredibly interesting decision to me, because that generator is very safe late game. So it seems like that they're just wanting to get a little bit of progress just for the fact that Corrupted Invention has blocked ones on the other side of the map. But a 3-gen against a tier 3 Michael is on this map, mind you, is kind of a GG. It is just incredibly hard to actually play against him. So this will be the first generator done, but it is the one that is the furthest out of the way. So I'm not sure you can call that a huge W just yet, especially because another generator on that side just got done too. So that is just basically making the map smaller.
And honestly, so far we are seeing a very different approach from the Rapture team than to other tier 3 survivor teams, because what the survivor teams in the other trials basically said to themselves was, okay, we have to deal with a Michael that is having tier 3 all this time, so let's be very, very fast and let's smash the generators and take some risks. And I feel like Rapture was playing pretty safe and pretty calm all the way until now, only allowing Xeno to take tier 3 when 2 generators are already completed. We have seen matches in the past where this was done at 5 generators, basically straight into the game, and Michael with the tier 3. So Rapture definitely doing a little bit better here, making sure they are taking it slow, calm and collected, getting a few objectives out of the way beforehand. Yet the difficulty is that Xeno now has it for the rest of the trial. We have seen that some resources were already sacrificed, and we have a pretty good gen setup here on the top side for Xeno to work with as well. Mind game action going on with our wonderful Nia greeting the pallet a little bit, trying to fake it, but that's going to be the down now by Xeno, and that is very close to the hooked survivor, so you can just go towards the staircase, making sure that there's no unhook coming in, or if there's a survivor rotating for the unhook, it would just maximum end in a trade here. But Plix and Vasti are realizing that they are facing some problems at the moment with the team. Both of them are healthy, which helps a little bit with not getting detected so easily because we have no grunts of pain. But this is honestly really it. You cannot take longer chases. With the first hit, you will already be down. So it is understandable that at least one of the survivors is staying here on the bottom side, cranking the generators. Another one is hiding. Ryan is going into second stage. Survivor trying to get over here. It feels like Rapture is a little bit clueless. What's the perfect counter strategy?
I don't know. This is an incredibly volatile set. And look at that. There's at least a 3-gen, if not a 4-gen on this side of the map. It seems like they might be cooked. It really, really does. They have one survivor down, one who is dying up on the hook. Xeno's gonna win this mind game like the Chad he is. That survivor is gonna go down. And now we have Flix, who is the last man standing, unless there is an unbreakable, some kind of something somebody using in the back pocket. We don't know. Ryan is seemingly dying up on that hook. Goodbye, gamer. Thank you for joining us today. GG, well played. Clutta is picked up, presumably by Flix. This will be kicked. Actually, this could be really dastardly, because if you expect Xeno to camp this, which you absolutely should, because this is a death. Oh my god, he's actually just gonna straight camp it anyway. Here, I thought it was gonna be like a 10,000 IQ play. You walk away, and the survivors hear the Terradius thinking that you're camping it, but I guess not. So that will be the elimination happening onto Ryan. It is a death at 2 generators remaining. No stages on anybody else. It could be possible that they bang out another generator, but in this case, I just don't see all generators getting done. This is a 3-4 gen against a tier 3 Michael. You are just at the mercy of just insta-downs. The survivors aren't going to take the time to heal. They're going to try to play aggressive to try to mitigate this. But look at all these pellets that are just getting dropped and kicked. They're just running out of resources at this point. It's going to be very difficult for them to even get a single generator done.
Now, this is the very difficult challenge here, right? The single generator that you would really love to have in addition, trying to make sure that the pressure is coming in, that the wind condition is being a little bit more tricky. So let's see if we're going to have any additional advantage here for our survivor team. Now, Ace trying to waste as much time as possible upstairs here. Not the most safe loop, especially when this pallet is thrown. So you want to be a little bit of a patience game. And now you need to have the nerves of steel. And unfortunately, Xeno is able to bait it out. Very well done here. Flicks going down onto the floor, leaving 2 injured survivors and trying to have these a little bit of endgame feeling already. You really need a 4th generator, forcing the opponent team to not being able to ignore a 3-gen. But what can you do against a Xeno that has a plan in mind and who is very, very dangerous, known for his experience throughout the years here? Vasti trying to go on a run, confused a little bit if Xeno is even following. The answer is no to that, just making sure that we are having some extra regression on these generators and we are entering the next stealth mode with the next kick on a generator. Unfortunately, the cooldown was not really on Xeno's side there, so we have a little bit of information for Nia here. She's trying to get on another generator, and look at that, Ray. So sad to see this. We had so much pressure on these generators before. Now it's all the way back to 5%. So Xeno not only able to get a survivor out of the trial as early as possible, on top of that, really doing a good job in keeping the gens under control. Flicks confidently holding W though. What a Giga Chat move here, trying to waste some extra time. Once again, the mind game into the life, making some distance, and this pallet that he greeted earlier is now available as an additional resource, but unfortunately Xeno is taking him onto the floor. But Ray, that was a wonderful showing here.
That definitely was, especially them buying some more extra time for these generators to be progressed. Eruption is revealing the aura of a survivor. However, Ace is on the ground. He can pick himself back up with Unbreakable. So that will be him, just not really in the hot seat just yet, except Xeno. Classic. Oh my god, he's slugging. Oh no, we've never seen something like this before. But here we go. We're now back in the game. The stakes are high for another generator to get done, and that can make or break a set just like this. The survivor is doing such a good job of just buying more time for the other survivors to recover. This is such a tiny little loop. Oh my god! Fast playing so very well, forcing Xeno to have bloodlust at this tiny little pallet. Kicks this generator, will be applying Unforeseen. Hey, guess what? It's not a surprise. They will be letting their teammates know, hey, he is stealthy right now, except that also applies Eruption to the generator, making it so when the next down happens, it'll be a 10% regression mark onto that. Xeno is not taking any sort of chances with all of these chases. Does have a little bit of time, yes, because the survivors are spread about, but he is definitely putting the pressure on them at this moment, making it so another generator does not get done. Because in a set like this, every single one counts, and they have a lot of good progress just spread across these. Look at that, all 3 generators have Eruption applied to them. The survivor planet does get picked up off the ground. Right here is getting it so it stops regressing. Flicks is stealthing a little bit right here. Bue, I don't know how to say their name, is also over here as well. That's so funny. We see that they have Wigglyth, so when a pickup happens, that survivor will have a little bit of endurance. We haven't seen it come into play just yet, but Fast is over here trying to make it just so Xeno can't get this down just yet. Yeah, it created a sort of 3-gen scenario over here with all of these cluster gens, but that also creates a safe spot where the survivors can run. If you are taking the killer over to this portal room here, that is a huge time sink that the killer just has to go through. Vaults that. Oh, but he's got so much distance on this Nia, it doesn't seem like that she is going to be able to. Ah! Look at that! They just go right through it! can't believe it. The patience on these survivors is astounding. Yeah, and then there is another down right there, applying eruption to all these generators. We can see that the ace has decided to stick right on that generator. I think Zeno is just basically playing a guessing game right here. He says this ace does not have enough time to get this generator done, and he is right. It's not even halfway. So Zeno is instead trying to commit to another survivor, possibly trying to get the 3-man slug to prevent any other generators from getting any sort of progress. Zeno is making such an incredible call with this. The game sense is on point. He knows that Ace can't get that generator done. And that's the sort of gameplay you'll love to see at this high of level.
Absolutely. Zeno is really stunning us at the moment and the entire day. We remember set number 1 was rough for Elysium. The delay that we had today, the players being a little bit tired eventually, then not everything going to plan. Then we had this wonderful Blight trial in between. Zeno showing off, Elysium's survivor team getting a 4 out even with the Blight on Ormond. We were saying, hey, this is looking really good for Elysium now. They really picked up the momentum. Then it fell a little bit apart on the Huntress. They still took the win, and now we are here with the Myers and Zeno once again showing his experience. On the other hand though, we cannot underestimate Rapture here. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get your Rapture t-shirts out yet, or don't throw them away yet, more to say. It's not time yet to celebrate Team Elysium here, because Rapture has done comebacks multiple times throughout today. They were struggling a little bit when under pressure, and Zeno is doing a really good job at the moment putting them in such a difficult situation, but nonetheless they were fighting to the very end. And with 3 injured survivors you can still do a lot. You don't have to go for the resets at the moment because the tier 3 Myers is not really making that necessary for you anyway. So what you can do at the moment is trying to focus with 2 survivors on the generator, and if it's only teaming, Zeno just with all the confidence running through the pallet with no care, but even teaming up on 1 generator and greeting 1 generator would be okay at the moment, because then you would at least set a win condition where Team Elysium on the upcoming trial cannot ignore a 3-gen anymore. And I feel like this, in the current situation of Rapture, would already be kind of a big step. Let's see here, our Nia upstairs trying to find, oh, we have an Unbreakable over here on Blake. Not sure if that was used yet, and we just see a little bit of a speedier recovery. No, it was used before. So we are going to see the pickup coming in by the team member. Yet they are going to profit a little bit from the quicker reset time on the ground. Nia with a big responsibility here. You need to go on a little bit of a longer run so your team member can get Vasti from the ground. But a yoink coming out, and that's going to be 2 survivors on the floor. And Ray, I think Dark Clouds are coming close on the horizon. This looks like a 4K.
Yep. It definitely does. The survivors were fighting tooth and nail. However, Zeno does seem to have the leg up on them. Bue is gonna bleed out on the ground. Fast has not bled out just yet. A little bit lower than halfway. Will we be seeing Zeno actually take a hook onto a survivor? I really doubt it. Flix is just out and about. We know exactly where he is. Oh, running towards the survivor. Is it going to be enough? Are you going to be able to get there in time to pick them up before they bleed out? It's got to be close. Yeah, okay. So next time that, oh wait, no, I thought that was, oh, it's the other survivor. No, Nia has bled. It is now a 2v1, and if you guys aren't familiar with our bleed out rules, it still awards all 3 stages, so that is basically just a complete death onto that survivor right there. Zeno, now in the 2v1, is definitely probably sitting very, very proud, because you should be. They were able to recover that situation. It really seemed like Rapture was gonna get that last generator banged out. I wasn't really holding my breath for them to get all generators done, but at least 1 more. But Zeno able to apply the pressure, finds the Claudette. That might have been a jump scare for him, because it definitely sounded like a jump scare for me. Ace is just walking around, man. In this certain case scenario, even if Claudette bleeds out on the ground and Ace gets hatch, doesn't count. New ruling this year, guys. We are not making hatch escapes count unless all generators are done. And there we go. That is the last survivor on the ground. That will be the 4K with 2 generators remaining.
And while we are watching how Zeno is collecting the meat pieces of his slugfest here, a warm welcome to everyone who hopped in from Odstava. First of all, a huge thank you for the raid and the support there. We hope you all had a great time. And welcome into DBDLeague. If you're watching us the first time, we are a competitive organization for providing a little bit of esports content around DBD. We are not affiliated or connected with Behavior. We are a group of volunteers that is doing it for a couple of years now. And you are currently watching our annual Halloween tournament called the All Hallows League. We usually have 3 events throughout the year. The big season, we just finished season 9, where we are having a little bit like the gold standard balance with a lot of restrictions. Each killer is tied to a map that we consider the most balanced. So, for example, Nurse on Coal Tower, Blight on Blood Lodge, Billy on Blood Lodge, and so on. And then we are having a Halloween tournament and a winter tournament. And usually the Halloween tournament is the most chill. And here this year, in the playoffs now, with 8 teams remaining, we are having the idea, or we have the concept that 2 sets in each best of 5 will have a special twist, a special challenge. We have a jump scare Huntress. So we're playing her on the game, 1-hit add-on and the wooden fox, so you're undetectable after the reload. We have the tier 3 Myers that you just witnessed. Both killers have to bring Unforeseen or Trail of Torment for a little bit of extra stealth. We have a Mirror Myers being played. I think you all encountered that in your pub history so far. It's very scary and has definitely the biggest Halloween vibe. We are having an Onryo on Midwich and a Spirit Halloween set where Haunted Ground needs to be cleansed before the survivors can get the first generator out of the way. And basically 2 of these 5 Halloween killers must be played in a best of 5. Here we are currently in set number 4, the tier 3 Myers. Elysium has done a good job so far. They have 2 sets for themselves. Rapture has 1 set. So we are now going into the deciding trial. Either it's going to be Team Elysium, we have just seen their killers, is going to smash 4 generators and they would take the win in this best of 5, or Rapture is shutting it down with a 4K on 3 gens done. Then it would be a tie, or only 2 gens completed would be the win for Rapture. And then we have 2-2 and we are going into the unknown as our tiebreaker for today. I hope I could cover at least the basics. We are scoring by completed generators. If this is the same, we are comparing the amount of hook stages the killer achieved. And if this is also the same, we are going for the individual survivors hooked. So 9 stages on 4 survivors is worth more than 9 stages on just 3 survivors, as we think it's harder to get the hook stages together when you are targeting multiple individual survivors. Ray, help me out. Did I forget anything that you should know when you're new to DBDL? I'm very bad at this.
Oh, I got one more. If you guys are joining from the Odstava raid, first of all, hi, how are you? And second of all, this is Cop DBD. If this is your first experience watching this, yes, we allow camping. Yes, we allow tunneling. Yes, we allow slugging. We want everybody to use every strategy to their fullest potential. So you will definitely seeing a lot of dirty tactics used. So don't be surprised. We are definitely seeing a little bit different balancing because it is All Hallows League. We got the spooky month. So we are just trying to confuse the survivors. We want them to play out of their element. We are seeing some new teams here this season. We are seeing some old teams. Elysium is definitely an older team that we've had. They play so very well. I'm so happy that today I got to cast some Halloween sets. They're definitely unique and it does put a little bit of twist. The survivors are out of their element a little bit. So we are loading into the next set, which will have Rapture on killer against the Elysium survivors. It's going to be the same balancing, except we might see the Myers he's forced to either take Unforeseen or Trail of Torment. And we did see Zeno, an experienced player, bring Unforeseen, which I personally think that Trail of Torment is better, but we'll have to see what this next killer thinks. Definitely, we are taking the time. We are loading it. It seems that the players are piling into our lobby. Fingers crossed that we don't have another crash on the potential last game of the day. If Elysium takes this set, then they win. They went against Rapture, and to win, to take this set, the survivors have to do just 4 generators. And we have seen Elysium performances while their first chase happens. It seems like the first chase, it lasts for 10 seconds and the survivors get 3 generators done. So I'm hoping we see some insane survivor coordination play. Previous game where there was a Huntress stealth set, it seemed like they fell apart just a little bit, but were able to recover in the end game. So they are all warmed up. These teams are probably ready to play. We'll have to see what is in store for our next match. We're loading in right now. Dyer, what do you think is going to happen this next game?
Oh, this is so hard to predict, Ray. As we pointed out earlier, we have seen so many surprises during these Halloween sets. Everything is basically possible. And I would be really surprised on the one hand if Elysium is now giving it away. Because when we are looking at the entire story of today, then Elysium is coming back basically twice from a difficult situation. In set 1, it was pretty rough, and then on the jump scare Huntress, they had to make some sort of a recovery as well. So this definitely not being easy for them. And when you're now so close, one trial away of making sure that you are going into the semi-finals this tournament, you really don't want to have that slipping your hands. So we 100% are going to see a very sorted Elysium now. I wouldn't be surprised if even Team Elysium is taking it a little bit slower and more sorted, even though they are usually known to be very brutal and efficient on the generators, not going to waste any time. And oh, there's going to be the Michael already in our first chase, trying to get some significant stalk progress. Swatter therefore just going to run this loop here, knows exactly that the tier 1 Myers has not a lot to put up as a counter, and it's also very horrible to stalk around this little loop when you're constantly circling. So this has the potential to serve as a little bit of a time waste here, and Swatter is honestly showing us the peak of reaction time and perfect looping, balancing this out very, very greatly. Myers ultimately giving up a little bit, saying, I'm done. I have a spinning head now. I don't want to deal with this much longer, and see that already. Elysium known to be a very efficient survivor team, half of a generator done already in the distance. I would say so far a good start for our survivors.
That is exactly the kind of start that I was talking about. You give one good chase to the survivor and it feels like Elysium gets 3 generators done. We already saw just walking past that one, it has so much progress. So they're definitely seeming like they have their game plan all figured out. Look at this, this is about halfway done. And Michael is just now getting out of tier 1. Just getting to the point where he's just a regular 115% speed killer. So now the survivors are in this situation where they are definitely playing it safe. They don't have a whole lot that they can just like give up. Unless they are caught out of position, then they're gonna do just fantastic. Right here, Ryan is up here checking this generator, going to kick it, and that will apply Trail of Torment. That is different from the last game. We saw that Zeno brought Unforeseen, but this game, Ryan has definitely decided to just go for Trail of Torment, meaning that that generator is highlighted, yes, so you know that he kicked it and he's stealthy, but it is gonna last an unlimited amount of time or until a survivor goes and stops it from regressing. So this could be really, really good for the killer if he can catch somebody out. However, he is not in tier 3 just yet. Oh, look at that, a good amount of progress and stock. Just goes for an M1 hit onto Swatter. That's another generator done over there. And this actually doubles a little bit like surveillance. Ryan will know exactly when that generator up top is gonna be, like, it's gonna stop regressing because his stealth is gonna go away. So he will know for sure. Yep, there goes, I think. I can't tell if that was a spectator thing. Yep, right there. Just so we know that it is not regressing anymore. So his stealth is now on a really long cooldown. But the survivors are doing a fantastic job. We can already see it. They have perfect communication. Ryan is just trying to catch somebody off guard, but they are just not letting it happen. They're not letting it happen whatsoever. Right here, trying to get some more stock. He's still not in tier 3. And there is the equivalent of about 3 generators done. We already saw survivors splitting up, splitting all of the pressure. They're doing such a good job of not giving a single inch. Right there, stalking the survivor. Little double time stalk right there. is able to just get a little bit more, but still not even in tier 3. Swatter is not even trying to, like, act like he's gonna heal himself. Except right, oh my god, look at this pathing. Immaculate pathing! Another generator gets done! And we already know that there's so many out there with so much progress. It's really seeming like Elysium is just shining through right here, making it so the killer does not have anything. And we're actually at TideCon right now. The survivors get one more generator done, then they win.
Very, very good work so far from the survivors. I was kinda hoping that Elysium is finding back to this very, very strong showing that we are used to. Remember, everyone, they are also the top 2 team from the season 9. Spin burst ready to go as well. And just this confidence, ladies and gentlemen, when you're facing a tier 3 Myers and all you have are a few tables for working with, then this is so beautiful to watch. Xeno wasting a significant amount of time here instead of just straight up going down, and every additional generator would seal the deal here. It would be the 3-1 for Elysium in this best of 5 and would allow them to make it straight into the semi-finals that are going to be played next weekend on the Sunday here, of course, again with 2 spicy Halloween sets. Ryan trying to get more pressure. He can only slug. There's not even the chance at the moment to go for any hook stages. As soon as he hears the generator, he needs to be worried that the generator might be done. I'm not even sure if he has enough time to kick that, to be honest, Ray, because even that is costing a little bit of time that you really don't have at the moment on the killer side. Swatter trying to make the most out of the pallet here, dropping it early to make the loop a little bit longer. This is making it easier to mind game for the survivor, but ultimately going down. Eruption doing a little bit of regression work for him, but is that really going to be enough? I'm surprised that we are seeing the hook. Ray, either Ryan is calculating differently than me, or he's not realizing yet that he's in the most emergency situation since emergency situations got invented.
Oh my god. What? How did I pick even just like, that was such a crazy call. He's like, yeah, you know what, I'm super confident. He's actually not gonna force me to drop down. That was incredible. I mean, he does have balance landing, so he is a little bit safer, but like, Jesus. The survivors are doing such a good job. This is what you want to see from a high tier team. Even right there, like, Swatter was death hook, so that could have been an incredibly good. Oh my god, wait, no, there's 2 gens, 99. Okay, you know what? Even if Swatter died there, I think the game is over. Yeah, that's the last gen. That is the Elysium win for today. Well played, well played. Even though Elysium won with just giving 1 set over to Rapture, these games felt like really intense.
It felt really intense, yeah, because I feel like the trials were very individual to what we have seen on the paper, right? That already starts with set 1, if we all remember. Rapture was doing such a good job when they were fighting the Chucky and Elysium as well. On the paper, it looked like a very clear win. And the 4K 2 gens remaining sounded really bad. But the story that these survivor teams told, with all their fighting, with all their comebacks, and even here, Elysium making a very nice trial, and Rapture losing very clearly. But if you're looking at the entire set, it was really entertaining. And it's also showing you when a survivor team is going on a motivation run, having confidence and being good to go, and these little puzzle pieces, perks, game plan, strategy, individual chase skill, if they are all clicking together, then you can be so dangerous here. I was worried there a little bit that iPick might underestimate the coup de grace that is still in the repertoire of Ryan, but is going to find out the exit as well. Xeno going down here has been one of the survivors that was deathless so far in this tournament, and finally we get our end game Mori. I hope, at least for Ray, that would be a happy end. You get to cast it.
Yeah, you know what? That's what you get. Maybe if you know, like, endgame board somebody, this wouldn't be happening to you right now. Karma. You know, Elysium might have taken the set today, but, you know, Rapture has taken my heart. Thank you so much. GG's well played to everybody involved. That was a really interesting cast to have today. We had some good Halloween sets.